Hi, it's Debbie, and for today's Extraordinary Women's Project, I want to talk to you about Lucy Bronze. Lucy is a footballer and a 2015 World Cup medalist. Footballer Lucy Bronze plays for the England national squad and for Manchester City women in the Football Association's Women's Super League. It's the highest league of women's football in England, and in 2014 she won the Professional Footballers Association's Women's Player of the Year award. Primarily a right back, she can play in a variety of defence and midfield positions and has represented England at every level, from the under-17s to the international matches. She played for England at Euro 2013 and was acknowledged as a star of the tournament in the 2015 Women's World Cup, where the team, known as the Lionesses, achieved third place, the best performance by a senior England side since the men's team won the World Cup in 1966. She says, "My brother's just under 2 years older than I am, and I adored him. He loved football, and I loved what he loved. I started kicking a ball as soon as I could walk. My parents didn't ever push me. They simply said, do what you want, play sport, be active. And I played all kinds of sports. I was good at tennis, but didn't like playing on my own. I liked being in a team. I was the only girl who played football in my entire region, rural Northumberland. I played with the boys, and I'd never seen another girl playing football, let alone played against another girl. At the time, you weren't allowed to play in mixed teams once you turned 12, so the FA wanted to ban me from the boys' team. My mum and dad didn't know a lot about football at first, but by then I'd decided I loved it. Football was what I wanted, and my mum got so headstrong when someone told me I couldn't do it because I was a girl, and so did my grandmother and my aunt, all strong, powerful women. My mum wrote to the FA and my aunt got in touch with lawyers. It was a case of, you can't say that to my daughter, or my granddaughter, or my niece. In 2014, the Football Association's governing body of English football voted unanimously to raise the age limit of mixed teams to 16. When the FA said I couldn't play anymore, that was a turning point for my mum. She had probably been the biggest influence to getting me where I wanted to be. In terms of what she'd done for me, I don't think I could have asked for more. My coach said to her, "You'll need to make sure Lucy keeps playing because she'll play for England." I was 11 and he'd never said anything like that before, but I didn't feel like anything special. But my mum and dad did everything they could to help me succeed. They drove me all over the country, and after that I played with girls. Since then, every coach has said the same thing as the first one. My mum didn't realise how good I was, and nor did I, because I hadn't had anyone to compare myself with. Once I started playing with girls, it was easier to see my standard. I had been proud of lots of different things, but in 2015, the year of the World Cup, was really a big one for me. I'd always been a good player. I'm consistent, I worked hard, but I never really stood out until then. Before that, in England, everyone knew who I was. Now people around the world know who I am. The World Cup was a huge highlight for me personally. It's changed my life in terms of perception and expectations. There are 20 or 30 girls in the squad of different ages from different places with different personalities. While we're all very competitive and driven, we tend to be quite caring as well. It's stereotypical of women, perhaps, but it's true. We all want to play, but we don't want to get too caught up in who actually plays. The team comes first. If someone's playing better than I am, I'd want them to be chosen for the match. I wouldn't want to let the team down. To succeed at sport, the first thing is that it has to be something you love. If you don't have the love, you won't have the passion or the motivation. After that, you have to be driven. You really have to want it. And you have to focus. Ability-wise, I'm not the best, and I'm probably not the smartest, but if I push myself, the best players in the world, men and women, are so driven. Ability comes in handy, but it is also about the hard work and motivation that comes with it. That's why all the England team has in some way, shape or form. I think there's pressure put on girls when they're younger, so they want to be pretty little girls and look nice. Boys aren't scared to jump in the mud and get dirty. The boys see male athletes, footballers and rugby players, and they don't care what they look like. They just want to win. When I was younger, I didn't really know about sportswomen. For me, tennis and athletics were the standout sports for women, and now we're seeing football, cricket and rugby too. We need girls to play at high level to act as role models for those coming up. My generation is doing that. Those girls who are 10 years younger than us have far more accessible role models than what we had. There is progress, but it still doesn't compare to male sports. There have been male footballers on television since there's been a television, but females only for the past few years. Football is the biggest sport in the UK, and it's loved worldwide, but what girls see is men playing. Once you do tap into the women's side of it though, you'll find loads of women are playing. Kelly Smith's always been a huge standout for me as an English player who has been the best in the world. She set the bar up there, something to push for. She was the one and only female player I had heard of when I started to look into women's football. To play for England before Kelly Smith retired was always a huge target for me, and I made it. I played 4 or 5 games with her. To a certain extent, being passionate about something makes you a leader. I want to do well as an individual, I want the teams to do well, I want the sport to do well. So I talk about it a lot, and I feel I'm a leader in that way. Things I get involved with, I get quite passionate and stubborn about. I don't like people being negative about me, my teams or my sport, and I will stick up for them. I like to push myself. I'd hate to live my life regretting that I didn't do something that made me better, not just as a player, but as a person. If it turns out I'm not good enough, okay, I'm not good enough, but it gives me confidence knowing that I've done my best and I couldn't have given any more. Lucy's object is a football, surprisingly. When you're playing football, you're not thinking about anything else. You could have uni work, school work, you could be getting bullied at school, have family problems, anything at all. But when you're playing football, you're just thinking about the football. And any time I'm playing football, I'm enjoying myself. Now look to the comments and see what activity you can do on Extraordinary Women.